You've got questions, I've got answers. Recipe request today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook today, where all my recipes are centered around requests that we've received either via mail or email, whether it was from Helen or Jerome or Mike. We get a lot of different emails. Now, the first item I'm making is somebody, I believe it was Michael, sent me an email and said, Paul, I want to make a crostini, but I'm tired of the same old thing. So let me just go over the menu, Michael, and I'll tell you what we're making. We're making a garlic broccoli crostini. We're doing a red pepper spätzle, a little twist there. And then we're doing chicken medallions with the lentils and spätzle. Out of this world. Now, let me show you how we're going to make the crostini. The first thing I'm going to do to make the crostini is I have some olive oil right here. And I'm going to take this olive oil, which I've started to heat, and into this olive oil, I'm going to put some garlic. And all I'm going to do when I put the garlic in there is I'm simply going to take the garlic and smash it, just kind of break it open a little bit. I'm not going to mash it, chop it or anything or slice it thin. Just mash it this way. And along with the garlic that I'm putting in here, I'm also going to put a little bit of crushed red pepper. That's just going to make a really nice hot garlic oil for me. Now, once it starts to sizzle like this, I simply shut it off and I let it cool down because I'm going to puree this. Now, the next thing I need to do is I have some broccoli here. Now, I'm going to take the broccoli, and so it'll sit on the crostini. I'm going to actually take it and cut it into very small florets. So we just take the floret this way and we cut it ever so small. Now, if and you can use the stems in this too, because what you can do with the stems is, just let me show you what you can do with these stems, because this is kind of fun. You just take the stem, take off the woody end here, take it off here. You cut this down this way. You square it off a little bit here, getting rid of the woody outside there. Then we'll take this, we'll cut it into small slices this way, cut it down this way. Then we'll take these pieces and we'll small dice them as well. So this is a small dicer, almost like a brunoise, but it's a little larger than a brunoise. Brunoise should be about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch. So I have this here. Now what I do with this is I simply take these, put them on a sheet pan. I already have some done here too. Take this, mix these together. Then we'll drizzle this with a little bit of olive oil. Then a little bit of pepper here. A pinch of salt. Just a pinch right here. Toss this together. You're going to roast this in a 475-degree oven until they get bright green and just start to soften up a little bit. Pop these in the oven here. Now, I'll show you what they look like when they're done and they come out. You see how nice they look? See how they really get some nice color there? Out of this world. Okay, now we're going to take, let me get a bowl there. Could I have a bowl, Jim, please? Just any bowl. That's perfect. Thank you. We're going to take a bowl now, these are a little warm now, and I like to keep them a little bit warm. But we'll just take our broccoli here, put this into a bowl. Because we have to add a few more things to this for the crostini. So I have my broccoli there. To this now, I have a little bit of grated Pecorino Romano cheese. I also will add some fresh mozzarella here that I have diced. And what I did to dice the fresh mozzarella is I took it and I put it in a freezer just till it firmed up so I could dice it nicely like this. We now take this, toss this together, and I already have some toasted French bread right here. I'll just take this, I put it right on top of the French bread where the broccoli is still nice and warm, nicely toasted like this. And let me show you what we do to finish this, because this is the most fun part. We'll now take our oil. I'm going to bring it over here. The oil is cooled down. With an immersion blender, make sure the oil is cooled down before you do this. I'm just going to take, and I'm going to puree the garlic with the crushed red pepper. We're just going to puree this and make a wonderful garlic oil. Okay. Let me turn on my blender here a little bit. There we are. Good. So now, what we do with the hot oil to serve this, simply take a spoon and we drizzle this spicy garlic red pepper oil on top of the broccoli when it's done. And last but not least, finish it with a little bit more grated cheese right on top. There we have a wonderful broccoli crostini. We're going to take a little break, but then when we come back, we're talking spätzle, or red pepper spätzle, spätzle. Viewer requests today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are doing recipe requests. Now, the next item we're making is spätzle, spätzle or spätzle. Actually, it's, from southern Germany or Alsace, and the term is German for little sparrows, and it's tiny noodles or dumplings. Very easy to make because basically you're talking flour, eggs, salt, and pepper. But I'm making red pepper spätzle. And you'll usually serve this as a side dish. So you serve some sort of protein with it as well. So what I'm doing right now is I have some red peppers here. I'm taking the red peppers and milk, and I'm going to puree them in a bowl here to make the base for my red pepper spätzle. Now, by the way, roasted red peppers are also known as pimentos. So if you have pimentos, you can use them to make this as well. So I have my red peppers all pureed there. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add my flour to this. In addition to my flour, I'm going to put some eggs in here. So we'll go with one. They're as rich as you want to make it. That's how many eggs you can use. 2, 3. They just don't make eggs the way they used to anymore. I've been cracking eggs for a long time, and these eggs just keep on breaking on me. It's the shells. I think we have to talk to people about getting better shells for our chickens, don't you? Okay. I would say talk to the chickens, but I don't think they'd listen to me. A little bit of white pepper in here. A little bit of salt. Now, to become with the one with the spätzle, I'm just going to start to turn it this way. See, I'm turning it, just getting this combined. Now, the whole trick to making this is to really develop the gluten or the elasticity in the flour. So what we do is we now work it this way. Now, if it's this loose, because you can make it looser or softer, but this way we're just going to beat this. This needs just a little bit more flour here. There we are. A little bit more flour here. Just mixes together, because what will end up happening is if I make this right, what will end up happening is when I take this spoon and I pull it away from this, take the spoon, I pull it away, it's going to go about 6 inches before it breaks. You see how it breaks at about 6 inches? That's what I want, but I want it a little bit more elastic. So all cultures, they all have a noodle like this, but you just need to work this right here. It's a good workout. Now, once you have it to this point, it's relatively easy because you can buy the spätzle maker, but I have a colander here that I really like. And doesn't this remind you of, this is Wallace Beery. It reminds me of a microphone from early TV, but I spray it with a little bit of oil. Then I'll come over here. I have a bowl right here. Don't put too much on your strainer. So I'll put my spätzle right here. Notice it's sticking through, but it's not dropping off. See? See how it's sticking through, but not dropping off? You see it? See, it's dripping through. Now, I come over boiling salted water. I cut the spätzle through. It's going to drop to the bottom of the dish. But see, by spraying with oil, you see how nice and clean my skimmer or my spider stays? Just bang this here. Get those off. Get those in there too. As soon as they rise to the top, simmer for about 2 minutes. They're done. Don't these look fabulous? Now, I'm going to reheat these. So first I need to shock them in ice water. I have a bowl of ice water here. Have a strainer in here. Put them in the strainer. Drop them into the ice water. This way, if I have ice cubes in there, I can get the spätzle out of there as soon as possible so they don't absorb the water. By shocking the spätzle, you're actually stopping the cooking process. Just stir this around nice and cold, nice and tender. Remove this, put this into a new bowl, and continue to make this. Now, what's really fun about this dish is you can get your kids involved in making this. So I have my spätzle made. I need to make a little bit more. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'm going to get my chicken medallions started that will be going with the lentils and our red pepper spätzle. We're doing viewer requests today on Let's Cook. Recipe requests. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are doing recipe requests. I don't know what this is lately, but it just kind of gets me in the zone. Okay, now this particular item we're making, it's chicken medallions with lentils and spätzles. And this is a specific request that came from Helen, who said, Paul, I'm tired of chicken. Give me something to do with different with chicken. So we are doing a chicken breast where we are actually, the title for the dish is it's a mushroom crusted chicken breast with artichokes, lentils, and spätzle. Out of this world. So let me just go over the ingredients. We'll be using 2 chicken breasts. We're using a half a cup of mushroom powder, a half a cup of Wonder flour, or regular flour, a tablespoon of dry thyme, a tablespoon of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of chives, a cup of assorted mushrooms, and a cup of artichoke hearts, along with 2 cups of cooked lentils and a little bit of stock, salt, and pepper to taste at the end. Now to make this, first thing we have to do is I have to show you what mushroom powder is or mushroom dust is. I have my new little food processor here. And what I did is I just took some dried mushrooms. You can dry them yourself in a nice slow oven or just let them sit out, making sure on a paper towel in a cool, dry place. Can't be damp. And then you can let them get dehydrated. Then you just take this and you just chop them up in a food processor or a coffee grinder. And this is what you end up with, where you have little pieces of dried mushroom, extremely flavorful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flour with my mushroom powder here, mix those together, seasoning this with a little bit of salt here and a little bit of white pepper. You can use black too, just happen to see the white there, so I'm using white pepper. So now this is good to go. In a dish right here, I have some eggs. Just going to take these eggs, beat them, because I'm going to actually coat the chicken with the egg after I dredge it in the flour and the mushrooms, and then back in the flour and mushrooms again. So we'll take our chicken breast right here, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, turn this over, do it on this side as well. So we get it double crusted. What I do is I'll put it in the mushroom flour mixture here, then into the egg mixture. Mushroom flour into the egg mixture, and I'll do all 3 of these here. There we go. Let's get my pan heating up there a little bit. Then I'll take these and I'll put them back in to my mushroom flour mixture right here. And then I'm going to saute them. Now, because I'm going to saute these and these have the egg and they have the flour, I don't want them to get too hot, but I do want them to sear to a point where we really bring out the flavor of the mushrooms. So the reason we're breading them twice is because it's going to give them a lot more flavor with the mushrooms, and it's just going to allow it to really adhere to it. So in my pan here, which I've heated, I'm going to start with a little bit of olive oil. Along with that olive oil, I'm going to add a little bit of butter. This is optional, so it wasn't in the recipe, but the butter is going to allow them to brown. It's also mushrooms and butter, mushrooms and olive oil. Put the 3 of them together, out of this world. So let me get this last one here breaded, and I can go ahead and start to drop these in. When I drop them in, make sure you drop them so that they drop away from you. Now these we have to actually finish in the oven, because these, I did not pound these breasts at all. Oh, I only have room for 2 in there. So, also, you don't want to overcrowd the pan when you're doing this, because if you overcrowd the pan, the chicken's going to get too soft. So all I do with these now is I take, and I'm just going to brown them on both sides. Then they're going to go into the oven. They're going to bake for about 10 minutes until they are just what we would call à point, or just done. 165 degrees internal temperature. So let me just get these a little bit more. Oh, here, it's ready. See that beautiful color? Beautiful. So let me turn these over. I'm going to get these in the oven. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'll show you how to finish this delicious chicken dish. And we are also going to answer some viewer mail. So it's recipe requested and Let's Cook. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are doing recipe requests. Don't try and say that 3 times fast. In this segment, we have a little bit of viewer mail I want to answer, but first, I need to get my chicken finishing. So this was the mushroom-crusted chicken breast that we started in the last segment, which is now done. So I'm just going to put this on the side over here and let that chicken rest. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the lentils in here. So to make the lentils in here, what I'm going to do, heat the pan up. Into the bottom of the pan now, I need to put just a little bit of butter. So put that butter in there. Along with that butter, I have some artichoke hearts here and some mushrooms. Now, all we're going to do is let them kind of start to sweat and saute together. We'll season them up with just a little salt. Additionally, I have some lentils that are going to go in here, but those lentils are already cooked and they're right here. And these are French lentils that we're doing. See these beautiful French lentils, much darker. As a matter of fact, I have some right over here to show you the difference between your regular green lentils here and your French lentils. You can see a lot more intense color. I'm also going to add a sprig of thyme to this, and I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock to this, along with my lentils. So we'll get and we're just going to let this reheat the lentils, let this all cook together. Additionally, I have the red pepper spätzle I need to finish. Now for the red pepper spätzle, I'm going to heat a saute pan. I'm going to use regular salad oil. Along with that regular salad oil, I'm going to put a little bit of butter in here. And the butter is going to allow these red pepper spätzles to really brown up and get a little crispy, so I won't overcrowd the pan. So just let them start to brown up. We don't add anything to them yet. We'll finish them with a little salt and pepper. Okay, here we go. Viewer mail. These were very good questions. Ed writes, "Hi, Paul. When cooking pasta in boiling water, does adding oil to the water prevent pasta from clinging together, or is it better to add the oil after draining it?" Thanks, Ed. Ed, let me tell you something. Oil is lighter than water, which means that the oil will always sit on the top of the water while the pasta is in the bottom boiling. What the oil does is the oil prevents the pan or the water from foaming over, because as the pasta cooks, it releases starch, and that starch can cause it to foam over. So if you want to prevent it from boiling over, the foam from coming out, the starch that comes out of the pasta from going all over the place, that's when you would do it. So you could put the oil in, that's what it'll do. Now, Linda writes, "Hi, Paul. In your recipe that calls for whole eggs or egg yolks, can egg beaters be used? I've recently been told that my cholesterol is too high. Thanks, Linda." Linda, of course you can use the egg beaters. That's what they're designed for. So they're heart healthy, heart friendly. So if you do have high cholesterol, definitely use the egg beaters. And, a lot of times on the back of them, they'll have directions on how to use them. But as long as you substitute them, usually volume for volume, which means if it calls for, 2 eggs, you would use about 4 to 5 ounces of egg beaters. And then that'll, just work with it, because that's usually what an egg weighs. Now, notice here, we're almost ready to plate this. See how beautiful our lentils look with the artichokes and the mushrooms. And then I come over here to my spätzle, and it's starting to brown up. You'll notice I didn't stir it. So it's starting to it's going to get a little crispy here. So we have some different textures going on with this dish. Beautiful. Okay, so I think we're ready to start plating this. I just need to get a little salt and pepper on my spätzle here. No more butter. And the spätzle is going to have a little crunch to it. So it's really nice. It's a great way to serve it. So let's go ahead and plate this up. First thing I'm going to do is I'll take my spätzle. And again, the requests that I get from viewers for the recipes and so forth, I really appreciate it. It really just makes me feel good that You trust me with the recipe. So let's take our lentils here. We'll get our lentils on a plate here too. Oh, doesn't that look great? Out of this world. Take a chicken breast. Great color right here. Out of this world. Then we can take a few chives. Finish this with a few chives. So I want to thank everybody out there for watching Let's Cook. I want to thank you for writing me for the emails and sending me requests. Have a great day. Bye-bye.